Welcome to Talk Purpose and Truth with Eden and Kim, shifting you into higher consciousness, the show that elevates, uplifts, and encourages listeners to grow, heal, awaken, and evolve. Eden and Kim include bold topics, special interviews with inspiring guests, intuitive readings, channeled messages from beyond, including celebrities, hot topics to expand your awareness, and time for questions from the audience. Tune in for unprecedented truth, authenticity, on-purpose discussions, and magical moments.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk Purpose and Truth podcast with Eden and Kim. Today's a very special celebration, I guess, celebratory episode. And today is our 1-year anniversary from the time that we started our podcast. And we have lots of special guests on with us today. And in a bit, Kim's going to introduce them. But hey, Kim, congratulations.
I know. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
I can't believe it's already been a year, and it's been, I think it's 49 episodes.
That's great. It took us like about a minute to figure out this is what we should be doing. And like once we started, I just feel like everything just kind of seamlessly worked out without even trying to force it. And like we were meant to be doing this. And I just can't believe how far we've come.
Right.
I'm proud of it.
I would love to do a shout out to Scott Walton, because it's funny. We have a history. Back when I was singing in a rock group, I would rehearse at his historic uncle's studios in Van Nuys. And when we were deciding to do this podcast, I was going, oh, I don't know. I don't even know how to do a podcast. What are we doing? And all of a sudden he popped in my mind, because we're friends on Facebook. And I was like, do you happen to do podcasts? And he's like, yeah. And so it's just been really awesome to be able to record in that historic studio and have that kind of energy with someone so humble and great as Scott.
Oh, I know. Everything just worked out so amazing. And we tried to go different directions, but like it just went back to Scott, and it's like home. It feels so good. It's too bad we can't be in the studio now. We've had to adapt and do this on Zoom. But I think if we weren't doing this on Zoom, I don't think we would be able to get all of our great guests that we have today.
But we also feel really excited to have Glenn Marsden here from Sydney, Australia. And he is part of the Imperfectly Perfect campaign, like we've talked about many, many times. And we felt it was very appropriate and an honor for him to co-host with us, because a lot has come together of how we met him and started helping with the Imperfectly Perfect campaign. And it really came about because of Jeremy Jackson and Eden Sassoon and Justin Guarini. When we all were together, we started talking about Imperfectly Perfect, and we said, we have to meet this guy. It's a campaign, and it's a campaign to reduce the stigma around mental health issues and blow up social media to change the face of the stigma around mental health. And so welcome, Glenn.
Thanks for having me, guys. And let me say congratulations on your episode and your anniversary. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Glenn's gonna help us co-host. And I just want to also thank all of our special guests. We decided to pick our popular guests we've had over the last year. So that includes MTV icon Eric Nies and CHRISTINA Moses from A Million Little Things, and Justin Guarini from American Idol, and lots of Broadway plays, and beautiful, wonderful musician. And of course, Glenn. And so we just want to thank all of you for being here. And we have a lot of fun questions, but we're going to start it out. Justin Guarini has so lovely agreed to sing a song for us that's very inspirational for our anniversary.
How you doing? Thank you so much for having me here. It was so much fun being in that historic studio that you were talking about, and I'm so glad that you do this wonderful podcast. And I'm going to do everything I can, like I promised then, to get Sheila E. on for you, because I know you guys love Sheila so much. And I know I know there's be something Prince related with that too. So
Yeah.
this song is one of the first songs I wrote back in the day, and I know that might make some people cringe when they hear that. But I wrote it with a really wonderful Nashville writer, and I think it's kind of appropriate. It's called "Missing You," and it's kind of appropriate with what we're all going through right now. And so, without further preamble, here it is.
Thanks.
Let's see if you can see the guitar. Yeah, here we go. Look, oh, there you go. So you can just have the hint of a guitar there for the video. Can you hear that okay?
It's awesome.
Yes. Great.
If love is a journey, you're my destination. Lovesick with no cure, baby. You're my salvation. All reason, no rhyme. Love has both blind. I put you on a pedestal so high. When I fell, I didn't hear you cry. But I had to find my way. I had to find my way. Had to find my way in a cold, cold world. Oh, but baby, yeah. Said I'm missing you, yeah. Yes, I'm missing you. Oh, I'm missing you. I hope you miss me too. Heartbroken, heartbreaking, all the roads that I keep on taking. Trying to get you out of my mind keeps on dragging me back in time. Oh, we built on the sand, castles into the sky. Then a storm came in, and time was the tide. Oh, just like a burning house on fire. I just stood there watching our love die, but I had to find my way. I had to find my way. Had to find my way in a cold, cold world. Oh, but baby, baby, said I'm missing you. Yes, I'm missing you. Oh, I'm missing you. Oh, babe, said I'm missing you. Yeah. Whoa, I'm missing you. I'm missing you. Oh, I hope you miss me too.
Oh,
Nice.
that's good.
Wow.
Yes, thanks.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm glad
Thank
you.
you.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you
my
so
pleasure.
much.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so we wanted to also we also want to welcome Jeremy Jackson from Baywatch, and he just joined us, so we got him on here too. So thank you. It's an honor, Jeremy.
It's awesome to be here. It's our 1-year anniversary, right?
Yeah.
Right, ours. I love it. Yeah.
Pretty
I
cool.
love it. We already did the shout out about how we met Glenn and Perfectly Perfect and all of that. So so yeah, we're gonna ask you guys some fun, interesting, deep, a mix of unique questions. So Eden, you can start.
Okay, I'm going to start off. So these are going to be some fun questions. We want to make this a lighthearted episode. So just actually, this one is actually not as lighthearted, but afterwards it will be. Okay, so we're just going to ask a couple of you each question. So this is going to be for Jeremy and for Christina. Okay, so I wanted to check in with you about the pandemic, what we're going through right now. I know there's a lot of negative emotions going on, but we want to stay positive today. So I wanted to ask you guys if you could tell us what positive takeaways you have from what we have going on right now from this pandemic. Jeremy.
Thank you.
So my internet was kind of cutting out, I think, a little bit. You said, what are the kind of the takeaways?
Yeah, positive takeaways. Oh, okay, we'll go to Christina.
Oh, he froze. Oh, there he is, I think.
Oh, wait.
Are you
Okay.
back?
For me?
Yeah.
Did I leave for a minute?
Yeah.
You know, for me, I've taken the time to really trim the fat of my life.
Whoa.
You know, just today I'm going through all my kitchen cabinets, cupboards, getting rid of dead weight, donating a bunch of clothes. I'm actually in my mom's garage right now. I'm helping my mom clean out her garage. You know, I feel like in life, often, not all of us, but, you know, some people have the luxury of living in that kind of, in that space where they just are led by inspiration and day in, day out can do where their heart leads them. They're not bound by a 9-to-5 or, you know, checking boxes and crossing T's and dotting I's. But, you know, I haven't personally had a lot of time like that for a while. You know, it's been very dutiful living, going through the motions and, you know, hitting the performance check boxes. So I've just taken this time to like help my mom clean out her garage and, you know, donate a bunch of clothes that I didn't really need and spend time with friends. And I've been online getting back to the breath work, which is something that I've been missing, and doing more of that. So I've been able to lean into that stuff, which has been great. But on a global level, I really hope that, you know, people have had the opportunity to, you know, research stuff and look at kind of what's really going on and have the time to figure some stuff out for themselves and not just led by what they're told in the media, because I think this can be a really eye-opening experience.
Yeah. That's awesome. I have been doing something similar, cleaning stuff. It feels good to clean things out for sure.
Definitely.
Something that it's been like kind of sitting around for years, finally getting into it. Okay, Christina.
Okay, positive takeaways. Well, I think one on a, you know, global scale is that the earth is kind of cleaning itself a little bit, you know, like less foot traffic and car traffic and air traffic, you know. I mean, I live in Los Angeles and the sky is so clear. Mm-hmm. There's not this like thick glare smog that kind of blankets us. It's really nice. It feels really good to breathe that air. You know, the canals and branches are clear, and the rivers are clearing, fish are coming in. I live by this nature reserve, so in the mountains there, when I take my dogs, like all the critters are coming out.
Wow.
So, like,
yeah.
The gophers are driving my dogs crazy because they can't catch them fast enough. And like the lizard, it's beautiful. So in that regard, I think that's really great. And, you know, using social media, again, to really connect and to share music. I mean, the amount of music that's being shared all over the place is just so fantastic, and funny sketches. I mean, actors are doing monologues for charities. I love that. We've got.
Hey, Christina.
Yeah.
Hey, do you mind if I jump in really quick? And there we go. Sorry, I wanted to jump in and ask Eric to mute himself because he's totally chowing down on something. You can hear it.
I was wondering who that was.
Eric
oh
is
my God!
A bowl of cereal, and it is
that's so funny.
It is the bowl of cereal show right now.
I can promise you. I know Eric well enough. It's not a bowl of cereal. I can promise you.
What are you eating?
I'm so sorry. I got on a flight really early this morning, and I haven't eaten anything all day. So I apologize for that. I just finished.
No, it's okay. Scott can leave that in. It's funny.
It's okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so all of that. What else? Like, you know, all the classes that are being offered online, you know, from academic, from workout to dance, you know, I just think, you know, it lets us know that we're not alone. You know,
Yeah.
we're all here. We're going through this together. And personally, it's been a time of deep reflection. When I work away from home, you know, 9 months out of the year. So I plan to come home and like just do all these projects. I get to paint and I get to like, you know, write in a way that I can't do while I'm working and just, you know, really get into all this creative stuff. And then I found myself actually not wanting to do any of that. Or not a lot of it anyway. I'm like, you know, I don't have to be super duper productive all the time. Like I can just, you know, a level of production can just be really relaxing with my dogs and just taking it easy. So I've been just really enjoying the opportunity to just chill out. I'm working on my garden with my neighbor, and we're planting, digging up weeds, and it's been herbs and vegetables and just, yeah, it's been a really beautiful time of just deep introspection and relaxation and yeah, writing, like personal writing. I guess
That all sounds productive.
yeah, but in like a mellow way, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
really easy around it, really tender around it all, instead of like,
yeah,
oh, like no, you don't have to change anything. But it's fine. You know, let the inspiration come from stillness. Yeah.
Very nice. Everything that all of you are saying, it's inspiring. So hopefully,
Well,
everybody out there will.
7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You know the
I know
book,
the
right?
book. Yeah, I have it. I actually haven't read it, but yes, I know.
It's you know, it talks about the 4 quadrants of life, and you know that we have things that are important but not urgent, urgent but not important, urgent and important, and not important, not urgent. Oh, and I feel like a lot of times, like I was saying earlier, we just have to do these important things. Like they're urgent, they're important. We have to do it. And when kind of we're all put on pause like this together collectively, like Christina said, we're all going through it together. It's rare, right? It's like, well, it sucks for these people, but it's like different for us. It's like collectively gnarly, you know? So there is a strength there in the collectiveness and being able to, you know, be at home and like, what is actually important? Like, what do I really want to do? Not what do I have to do, but what I want to do. And the stuff that is not urgent. Like there's so much stuff that's not urgent. It's like there's a pressure release at the same time as pressure's being applied in other ways. But
Yeah.
It's been cool to get into the important stuff, non-urgent but important.
Right.
You know, yeah.
I like that. I think that it's interesting because it feels more modern and technological because we're doing so much virtual stuff, but at the same time it feels like Leave It to Beaver because everything is very simple. So it's like a weird mix of both, like a paradox, you know?
Yeah.
So
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm just going to jump in, guys, and ask a question now. So I will say, Justin, I had my 2-year-old daughter in while she was singing, bopping away here, so thank you for that.
That's awesome.
And Glenn, my 20-year-old and 16-year-old were doing the same thing. They love to hear Justin sing. So it's not just for kids.
When you like that, mate. But I'm going to put this question to Eric and Justin. So, in your lifetime, what is the best piece of advice you've received from somebody?
Oh, jeez. Wow. Put me on the spot there. What's the best piece of advice I've ever received in my lifetime? I mean, there's so many wonderful things. I have a father who's just so filled with wise sayings. He grew up in the South and was born in 1935, I want to say. And so he is around 84, 85 years old. And you know what he says to me? And it's one of many things, but you know, when I came to him, he was chief of police in Atlanta for a while and had worked up for 5 years and had worked his way up from being a patrolman in a city that at the time when he started was not exactly friendly to African Americans. I want to say, I'm of mixed race, just to let everybody know. So my father's African American and my mother is Italian, and so one of the things that he told me, because he wanted me to go to school and to get my education and all this other stuff, and then when I said I want to be an artist, yay, and he was just like, okay, well, if you want to be an artist, that's all right, but make sure that you study the business of being an artist, study the business of being a singer. So whatever it is that you want to do, you can do. And, like Jeremy and Christina were saying, so much of this, so much of what we're doing right now is stressing people out and it's causing anxiety, but it's also an opportunity. And it's an opportunity to expand and grow and learn something new, because when we come out of this, the world is going to look very, very different. And it's going to look different for quite some time. There are some industries that will never come back. There are some jobs that will never, ever come back. Mostly things will change so radically from a financial perspective, from an arts perspective, from all kind of travel perspective, that we're going to need to learn new skills, and learning new skills and following your passions and figuring out what is happening next and what I'm going to do for a career or for income is so important. So whatever it is that you love to do or want to do, whether it's gardening or the arts or, woodworking, study the business of whatever it is your passion is, because that is going to help you, especially in the new world when we come out of this, to help market yourself, to potentially sell your expertise to people, to share your expertise with people. So that was probably one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever been given. And it's something certainly that I'm using. Like I'm leveling up my online skills. I've got a show. There's a bunch of things that I'm doing to help me come out of this as hopefully a thought leader and a role model, as weird as that sounds for me to say that, a role model in the new world for people in my community. So that's the advice I have.
That's really awesome. Yeah.
So Eric.
Yes. Hi, everybody.
Hi. Remember the question?
Yes, I do. I think when I was 26 years old, 25 or 26 years old, when I met my first teacher, I was just coming out of using drugs pretty heavily, and I started my martial arts training with him, and meditation and mantras and all these different Far East modalities into getting my power back in my life, and remembering who I am, and understanding why I behave the way that I do and why I operate the way that I do. And he said to me, this is an 8th generation grandmaster from the Far East, and so this was a very old school way of thinking. And so we had this moment once where he said to me, you're very lucky, to live in America. One day I'll take you, to the mountains of Vietnam, where I'm from, but in America you have a lot of freedom, where in a lot of places around the world they don't have the freedoms that you do in America. In America you can have as much money as you want. You can have as many cars as you want, as many houses as you want. You can have as many shoes as you want. There's no limit to the amount of things that you can have. And he said, but there's only one thing in life that you get one of, and that's yourself. And he said to me, don't ever be a slave to anything. It's okay, if you want to smoke a cigarette every now and then, it's okay, you smoke one cigarette, but then you have the willpower and the strength to put it down. You want to have one drink, it's okay, you can have one drink. Maybe even you want to try some drug you've never tried before, but if you want to try it and you want to experience it, but just know that you have the strength and the willpower to put it down, and never be a slave to anything in your life. And the second thing that I'll share is a friend of mine who I met in Burning Man. We're out on the playa riding our bicycles and having a good time and listening to all the music. And she said to me, I grew up with a mantra in our family that my father used to say to us all the time when we were kids. And it goes a little something like this: be natural. Do nothing. So what? So whatever you take from that, I'll leave you with those two words of advice from some wise old Asian men.
Those are great. Very good advice.
Yeah. Wow. So,
Christina, are you talking? Are you talking to us? Because she's on mute. Christina,
No,
I'm
going over the mantra because I liked it.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna get a little bit lighthearted right now, and
let's do it all. Let's all do it. Let's all do it.